harmful to us in the long run. The other thing I wanted to look at is the ethical argument with respect to the responses to climate change, and I think that's where we are. What we're talking about when we're talking about climate change and the actions that we're doing is our response. And our response is categorized mainly in responses that fall in line with mitigation actions and responses that fall in line with adaptation actions. But the two are distinct but uniquely joined. There is a direct relationship between the actions you take on mitigation and what you may or may not have to do on adaptation. It's not an exponential link, and it's a very complicated relationship. However, all of those actions have impacts on human beings and the environment which provides our goods and services. So I think when we're talking about ethics, the responses and actions are what we have to talk about. And that has been the most difficult part of the climate change debate, and that is why it's not in an agreement now, because we can't solve it. And what the question I have is, what is your proposal to how we fix that? Thanks.
Well, probably if I had the answer and I had the proposal, I would be on a yacht here in the Caribbean, taking the sunshine and not working here, because that would be probably linked to a price in our societies linked to money. But we are working on it, and we start from a recognition that we need to know really much more clearly the concept that we are using, that we have to improve our conceptual language in our thought processes. And so we find that problems that were posed as being simple problems, with these being meaning that meaning the other, and now it turns out that they are language is used and deformed and perverted in very many different ways. But without even thinking on ill intentions, we have the fact that people can talk to each other without really understanding because of all these different meanings that were attached to different terms. So one of the attempts of the work of COMEST is really to try to have this conceptual clarification of very important concepts that are being used today, international platforms in which climate change is discussed. And you talk about 2008 or 2007 or 2009, that is yesterday. And we recognize the urgency of the thing, but we can see that there is an evolution. I wouldn't dare to say that there is progress into it, but there is an evolution, and the issue of climate change is becoming more and more present in the debate, and we have to increase that and improve our analysis in order to produce the proper responses and the proper actions.
Thank you.